Hey folks, I've got a real chilly morning here today, but I'm going to be paddling out into some remote backcountry lakes on a mission to try and catch a brook trout for dinner. I'm also going to be testing out a new tarp shelter setup, and we'll see how it does against the cold. It's late fall here in Ontario, Canada, and it's been dropping below zero every night. It is absolutely beautiful right now, so stay tuned, it should be a fun video. My goodness, I had such a chill on earlier, and as soon as that sun came up, now I'm overheating. I'm gonna have to layer down a little bit. It can be so challenging to dress for this time of year. Check out the steam coming off of these stumps as the sun warms it up. Now that is pretty freaking cool. I gotta make sure I'm wearing my orange as much as possible whenever I'm on land. It is hunting season, so it's not a bad idea. I've just found the most perfect spot for my shelter, but before I get started building it, I'm gonna head out and see if I can't catch some fish. No action at all after about an hour of fishing, so I'm gonna head back and get started on that shelter. Whew, that is some hard work. I finally got all the leaves cleared out from where I want to sleep, and now it's finally time to put the ridge poles up. The temperature's dropping big time already, and it's only gonna get colder from here. So I can't wait to get this stove set up. Good old birch bark. Since I couldn't catch a single fish today, I'm gonna be doing breakfast for dinner. I've got breakfast sausage, potatoes, onions, garlic, and broccoli. I'm gonna mix it all together into one big breakfast skillet. Just gonna slice these potatoes pretty thin, and that way it should cook pretty quickly. So I'm hungry and it is late. It's so cold, the olive oil is starting to solidify. Wow. I think that looks about done. Oh man. Finally, time to eat. I'm starving. I gotta be honest, using the wood stove for this style of shelter just isn't practical whatsoever. First of all, the stove I have is super cheap. I think I got it for like 50 bucks at a hardware store. And even when the fire's roaring, it barely puts off any heat. It takes so long to boil water. It takes a long time to cook food. And for all the hassle, it's just way more ideal to have a long fire next to like a lean-to tarp. It looks really cool, but that's about it. All right, time to get nice and cozy and doze off until the morning. Good night. Good morning. I slept right in today. I have my alarm set for 7:30. I wanted to do some early morning fishing. When I woke up, it was still pitch black, so I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll rest my eyes for a little bit. But what I didn't realize is that I'm in a deep valley with cliffs on either side, and this area doesn't get sunshine until about, well, I think it's about 12:30 now, and the sun is finally starting to hit. I slept for like 12 hours last night. Whatever, maybe I needed it. This is the first ice I've seen all year. Look at that. Pretty cool. I'd say that in about a month and a half, this entire lake behind me is going to be completely covered in ice. That's pretty much the case for all lakes in Canada. And the further north you go, the thicker the ice. There are going to be some lakes this winter that have like over 5 feet of ice. It's just so gnarly to think about. There are even some remote communities way up north that have ice highways. You can only drive to them in the winter. And the ice is so thick that it can support like an 18-wheel transport truck. Imagine that, a transport truck driving across a lake. So the plan for today is to portage into the next lake over and see if I can get on a brook trout. But first things first, I'm just gonna sip a coffee here, and I'm also gonna cook up some turkey bacon that I brought along. But for the sake of time, it takes way too long to cook it in the pan, so I think I'm just gonna cook it right on the top of the wood stove. We'll see how this goes. Don't try this at home, folks. This is how to attract a bear 101. This is actually working perfectly. Look at that. Fantastic. It took about 2 or 3 minutes and that's it. It's just perfect. All right, camp is nice and tidy. The wood stove is completely out. Time to go on a little fishing adventure. I can't help but throw a couple casts into this lake before I head into the next one. I've had better luck on the next lake, but I have caught them here before. But that was in the springtime, so I just don't know what they're up to this time of year. Nothing on this lake. Time to go to the next one. This lake is just too beautiful to not hold fish. It's gotta happen here. It just has to. There's a little creek that feeds into the lake up here. I'm gonna try and launch a cast in from far away, because if there is a fish in there, I don't want to spook it. Yes, yes, fish on, baby. Looks like it could be a decent one too. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. Let me turn the brightness up on this camera here. That is what I'm talking about. Okay, that is perfect. That is perfect. I'm keeping him for dinner. Just gonna put him out of his misery, and then maybe I'll get another line back in. Here's a good look at that fish in the sunshine. So pretty. The colors are just unreal. I'm very happy right now. So fun fact, brook trout season is actually closed right now. But hold up, hear me out. This lake and the lake that I'm camped out on are on a list of lakes that are stocked. And since they are stocked lakes, they remain open all season. So you can catch brook trout any time of year. Pretty cool. All right, well, that's mission accomplished. I'm gonna head back to camp now and start gathering all the firewood I need for the evening. Okay, I'm just about back at camp here, and I thought I could hear some rustling in the woods. And so it got my attention. I pulled my ears out of my hat, and I was listening. And then I heard a huge branch break, like a big, low snap. Had to be either a moose or a bear. That's the only thing in these woods that are big enough to make a branch like that break. So I'm kind of on high alert, and I'm wondering if it was stupid to do the turkey bacon right on the wood stove and then leave camp for the day. Actually, no, that was stupid. Yeah, can confirm. Good news, doesn't look like anything messed with my camp. Now I gotta hustle. I gotta get a whole bunch of firewood before it gets too dark. The sun is almost down already. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and gut this trout now. And for those of you who don't want to see that, I'll show it for exactly 15 seconds. So close your eyes and count to 15, starting now. I've got the blade of my knife facing up. I'll go all the way down, right to the bum. You can open it right up and just grab all the guts. You can just yank them right out like that. And then just give it a good rinse, make sure it's nice and clean. All right, for those of you with your eyes closed, you can look now. The fish looks no different than you'd see in the grocery store, except 10 times better. We got some pasta boiling up here as a little side dish to go with my fish. I think all I'm gonna do for this fish is coat it in a bit of salt here. Bit of oil in the pan. Actually, I'm gonna do a lot of oil. I'll give that a few minutes and then I'll flip it. This might be a bit tricky. The fish is too big to fit in the pan. The tail is hanging out the side. I gave it a flip and sadly it's not cooking evenly at all. I ended up having to cut the tail off. I think it's gonna be fine, but the pieces that are cooked are unreal. Picking off this little crispy skin. This is my favorite part. Oh, it's so good. It's almost like chicken skin. Quite the mess in the pan here, but the meat is just perfect. And it's just coming off the bone so nicely. Fresh caught brook trout. Doesn't get much better than that. Oh, it's so tender. Well, I think that's about all I'm gonna get off of that fish. Not a single calorie went to waste. Got some water boiled up here. I'm gonna pour this into my bottle. Try not to spill too much of it. I'm gonna put this hot bottle in the foot of my sleeping bag and it should stay warm for at least a few hours. I've had Nalgene bottles like this filled with boiled water that stayed hot for 4 or 5 hours sometimes in the sleeping bag. That's it for me. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. Slept like a rock. Looks like we got another beauty day. All right, now for my least favorite part. It's time to tear down this awesome little camp. Don't worry, that wood stove hasn't been hot since early last night. Now that camp is all torn down, it's time to portage my canoe and all my gear back into the bigger lake where my car is parked. But before I go home, I'm gonna make a little pit stop at one of the campsites on the big lake and make a campfire, and I'm gonna do a little shore lunch. So this real juicy looking steak here was my backup plan just in case I didn't catch a trout. But luckily I did catch a fish, and so I'm having this steak on my last day. It's gonna season it up nicely here. One of the really nice things about being out here this late in the year is that it's cold enough that you can keep meat for a few days in your pack. It's not gonna spoil. It's been going down to freezing every night, and this stayed cold for 3 days here. All right, it looks like the fire's died down enough to slap this puppy on the grill. perfect. I think that's like a medium. Probably wanted a bit more rare than that, but I'm not complaining. Cheers. So good. That was just an incredible way to cap off this awesome adventure. But I think it's time for me to head home now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.